I'm romance novelist Maureen Driscoll, and I usually come here to talk about writing, specifically writing romance novels. But I am also divorced, and I have helped a number of friends get through their divorces. I'm sort of a divorce guru. I am not a lawyer. I am not a financial advisor. I am not an official person. I'm just a person who got divorced relatively young. I was 33, and because I was a trailblazer, I got divorced before any of my friends got divorced. I just became the divorce person. So, if you would like some common sense, non-legal, just common sense tips for how to make the best of your divorce, you've come to the right place. The biggest thing that helped me, besides getting a lawyer, because we both used lawyers. They were very helpful. We got through it. Our divorce was relatively amicable. Uh, but in addition to going the lawyer route, I got a therapist. A therapist was incredibly helpful to me because I learned a lot about myself. I'd never been in therapy before. I got a lot out of it. Not only did I learn a lot about how I was in relationships and what went wrong with my marriage. But it brought up a lot of stuff of who I was as a person. It made me really examine parts of myself that I hadn't examined before. And I think the process is really, really helpful. It's also important because, this all depends on whether or not the divorce is your idea, if it's your spouse's idea, but your friends can really only handle so much. And I had amazing friends who listened to me cry and who listened to me talk about the situation over and over and over again for a very long time. And I'm incredibly blessed and fortunate that my friends are still my friends and they didn't just sort of go, I can't listen any longer. So getting a therapist is really key to getting through this. And on a related note, if you are sad about your divorce, uh, there were times when, first of all, if you were depressed, a therapist or a psychiatrist can get you medication, which can help you feel better. I should have gone that route, and I didn't, because one of the things you don't want to go is the self-medicating route, which I didn't. I mean, okay, yes, were there a few evenings it was like a few, but not very many, because I've never really been a big drinker. But yeah, there were a few like, fuck this. I swear a lot. You should know that by now, or you should know that just in general. But no, you don't want to self medicate because that will only make whatever problems you're having worse. So you don't want that. But there is medication available, prescription medication, which your doctor can help you with. But one of the things that I learned about grief is that there were times when I would just start crying and being unable to stop. And I felt it was like the sea. And I'm not an ocean person, but I would just be there and I would let it take me out to sea. Like this grief just run its course. I didn't know on any, amount of time, like how long I would be crying, how long I would be really sad, but I would just let it do its thing, but confident that eventually I was going to stop crying and I was going to be able to go on and do whatever it was that I was going to do that day. And in the beginning, I was not doing a lot, like, small things like balancing my checkbook was like a huge, people probably don't have checkbooks these days. This is how long ago I was divorced, but whatever it is, whatever that task is, getting back to everyday tasks was a big deal for me because I was really, really, really broken up about this divorce. But I would let the grief take me out to sea, knowing that I was going to be okay again, that it was going to come back, it was going to recede, and I was going to be able to go on that day. It might happen again the next day, but then I knew the same thing. I was confident that I'd be okay again. And, unfortunately, there is no like, you know, magic formula is the thing that they say about like time being the thing that helps. It's not untrue. Time is the thing that helps you get over most pain. And it just took a while for me. But that was the big thing is getting a therapist, working through not only just what had happened in my marriage and the divorce, but who I was as a person, how I did relationships, all of that. It was really helpful. And it was because I went to a therapist. So therapy sums up. Something else that is very helpful, but will be more difficult for some people than others, is creating a whole new life for yourself. We didn't have kids, and so that's a huge thing that we didn't have to deal with. But despite not being a parent, I am going to do something on kids later. Um, but I got up and I moved cross country. I moved to Los Angeles. He was in DC, and that helped a lot because I had to start over. And I know that starting over is one of the things that scares people the most. Please don't be scared of that, because this is your opportunity to reinvent yourself. This is your opportunity to make friends that aren't also hanging out with him, and if he's with somebody or whatever. This is and that's awkward too, because mutual friends are really in a tough spot, because some friends might stay with one person versus the other person. I mean, that was I will say I lost some friends in the divorce, just not because of anything I'd done, but just because they were his friends to begin with. I miss those friends more than I miss him. Um, because that's the friendship thing is hard. And if you've ever been on that part of it where, some friends of yours got divorced and you had to juggle between the two of them, it's not easy. But as much as possible, even if you're not packing up and moving to Los Angeles, doing your own thing, going out there and getting something that is uniquely yours. And for some of it, you might not have a choice. Like if you've got kids and you're going to see your ex spouse, you're going to have all these, it's going to be, school things and weddings and all these things you will have to, commingle with the other side. But get something that's your own. And one of the things that I did, which was so smart, is I started volunteering. And if you are in this position, if you're living in the same city that you were before, don't just volunteer to wear a place that go someplace completely unfamiliar. Like if it's like maybe the Humane Society of a neighboring town, or volunteer like I did at a hospital. The hospital was a saving grace for me. It was the keep in mind, that's 33 years old. It was the Cedar Sinai Emergency Department from Friday nights from 9 p.m. till 1 a.m., which was really super interesting. And it was two things. There were two other people I met. The three of us, I didn't really know. I just moved to town. I didn't really know anybody. We would go out after our shift, and it was, again, these were my friends. These weren't friends. These weren't our friends. These were my friends. People who volunteer are generally, I mean, I know it can be hard to make friends as an adult, but we were there volunteering. And so we had that in common. And, even if it was just that night that we would go out after the shift, because again, at 33 years old, going out at 1 o'clock in the morning was no big deal. Whereas now I'd be like, that is not going to happen. You would not be my friend if it depended on, going out at 1 a.m. these days. Nope. But this was wonderful. Like we really it was a great friendship. And so not only did I meet these two friends, but when I was volunteering for 4 hours at a hospital in the emergency department, and 4 hours filled with people who were doing a lot worse than I was. That also helped me keep my mind off something that was making me really sad. So, and plus, I did some good. So that was a really important thing. So volunteer, find whatever it is, and ideally, it's something maybe that you had always wanted to do. Like maybe if you wanted to paint, and you can take a painting class, or whatever you wanted to do as a kid, and you hadn't had a chance to do in ages, go do that. Bonus points if your former spouse said like he didn't think you'd be good at it, or he didn't want you to do it, or like whatever. That's even better. Go do that. Go do that thing like 10 times. So just get out there, get something that is uniquely yours, that has nothing to do with your life together, uniquely yours, because that's what the rest of your life is you get to set the tone, you get to have your own adventures, and the time to start is now. A lot of people have been married for a long time when they get divorced, and there's so many things that they haven't done on their own for ages. Some people never did them. My big wish for every woman is that she knows before she gets divorced, where the money is, what people spend on things. I have female friends when they were married. They're like, "Oh, I don't know how much stuff costs." And I'm like, "Really?" Because that's not smart in many respects. So it may be too late for you to get in the time machine and go back and figure out where the money is before the divorce, but they take care of the money. Lots of first time things that intimidate people, like the first time you go to a party on your own, that can be traumatic. Go with friends if you can. But I'll tell you right now, going to a party on your own, as hideous as it sounds right now, is actually the best way to meet people. And I'm not talking about dating, I'm just talking about meeting people. Um, so just there's going to be a lot of firsts like that. It's the first time you have to put this is one of the kind of sucky ones, is when you have to put the emergency contact, and it used to be your spouse. Probably, well, you're going to have to come up with somebody else as your emergency contact. So things like that are going to hit you. For me, and this is so weird, my Costco card got taken away. It got confiscated because it was, I guess, in our name. And so I was like, "What? You taking away my Costco?" Okay, I was able to get a Costco card on my own, but for some reason it really hurt. Thanks, Costco. But one of the things that is more fun than you think, I was super nervous about having sex again, and I gave myself like a time limit. Like I was not going to wait longer than like I think it was 6 months. I think that I didn't want to be celibate longer than 6 months, and I managed to get under the wire on that. With actually one of the people I was volunteering with at the hospital. But because my big fear was I was going to that I was going to cry the first time I had sex, which I don't know why. I have not cried when I had sex. But it was important for me. Oh, I should also, before I went to the therapist, I actually found a gynecologist and I got checked for STDs, which I did not have one, but that is also something, unfortunately, I'm sorry, but that is something you may want to get checked out with, uh, if your spouse cheated. Sorry, go just to make sure. But it's always good to go to the gynecologist to get everything checked out in general, because healthcare is important. But what I did, because I didn't trust myself to get into another relationship right away, which was smart. I did get not Mr. Hospital guy, but I did get a friend with benefits. And that was he was, oh wow, he was a beach lifeguard in Los Angeles. And first of all, really big. Think Baywatch, because it's Baywatch. Because I mean, he was super hot. And so over a period of a couple decades, is from time to time when he wasn't seeing anyone, when I wasn't seeing anyone, and we were both in Hollywood, so we both liked filmmaking, and so we talked in addition to getting business done. We talked, and it was a really nice thing, and it helped me stay in touch with that part of myself. And so it was important. He was a lot younger than I was. Because I didn't want my heart to get tied up in this. Like that was for a relationship. This was for fun. And it was nice. I highly recommend it. You just have to make sure it's somebody that you trust. You have to be safe because diseases are out there. And that's another thing. If you're not used to using condoms, you have to use condoms. But it was a really great experience until the sort of the final straw on this is I found out that we voted for different people in the 2016 presidential election. And it's a good thing I found out that we voted for different people in the 2016 presidential election after we did it, as because. So anyway, my strong suggestion is to get a friend with benefits to sort of, especially if you're ego or if you're, you know, if you got rejected and you're like, oh, you're gonna have some fun and you're going to feel a lot better about yourself. So put that on the list of things to do. Because trust me when I say that is the most fun first thing. It's a lot more fun than having to come up with an emergency contact. That's all I can say. Anyway, these are my big tips for the newly divorced or almost divorced. If you like this, let me know. If you want to hear some more, I've got plenty of tips. So let me know in the comments. But you will get through this. And at some point, if you're anything like me, you'll be glad that things ended. Even if you don't think so at the time, you'll be glad that things ended. So, anyway, take care of yourself and thanks for watching.